Now Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the settlers of Gilead, said to Ahab, "As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, before whom I stand, there shall be neither dew nor rain these years, except by my word." And the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "Go from here and turn eastward, and hide yourself by the brook Cherith, which is east of the Jordan River. You shall drink from the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to sustain you there with food." So he went and did in accordance with the word of the Lord. He went and lived by the brook Cherith, which is east of the Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he would drink from the brook. It happened after a while that the brook dried up, because there was no rain in the land. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and stay there. Behold, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you." So he set out and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, a widow was there gathering sticks for firewood. He called out to her and said, "Please bring me a little water in a jar, so that I may drink." As she was going to get it, he called to her and said, "Please bring me a piece of bread in your hand." But she said, "As the Lord your God lives, I have no bread, only a handful of flour in the bowl, and a little oil in the jar. See, I am gathering a few sticks, so that I may go in and bake it for me and my son, that we may eat it as our last meal and die." Elijah said to her, "Do not fear. Go and do as you have said. Just make me a little bread from it first, and bring it out to me. And afterward you may make one for yourself and for your son. For this is what the Lord God of Israel says, the bowl of flour shall not be exhausted, nor shall the jar of oil be empty, until the day that the Lord sends rain again on the face of the earth." She went and did as Elijah said, and she and he and her household ate for many days. The bowl of flour was not exhausted, nor did the jar of oil become empty, in accordance with the word of the Lord, which he spoke through Elijah. It happened after these things that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, became sick, and his illness was so severe that there was no breath left in him. So she said to Elijah, "What problem is there between you and me, O man of God? Have you come to me to bring my sin to mind and to put my son to death?" He said to her, "Give me your son." Then he took him from her arms and carried him up to the upper room where he was living, and laid him on his own bed. He called to the Lord and said, O Lord my God, have you brought further tragedy to the widow with whom I am staying by causing her son to die? Then he stretched himself out upon the child 3 times, and called to the Lord and said, O Lord my God, please let this child's life return to him. The Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the life of the child returned to him, and he revived. Elijah took the child and brought him down from the upper room into the lower part of the house, and gave him to his mother. And Elijah said, See, your son is alive. Then the woman said to Elijah, Now I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in your mouth is truth.